Most people think wealth starts in the wallet, but the truth? It starts in the mind. Before a dollar touches your hand, a thought must take root in your soul. A belief, a decision, a relentless certainty that you were born not to struggle, but to master, that the world does not owe you comfort, it owes you nothing. And that is your advantage. Because when you stop expecting, you start creating. Think of every great titan in history. Carnegie, Rockefeller, Ford, Hill. They did not inherit maps. They created compasses. They walked into fog with nothing but faith and a plan. And when the world laughed, they kept walking. When it doubted, they built. When it collapsed around them, they rebuilt stronger. Not because they were lucky, not because they had some divine privilege, but because they understood one truth: the mind is the furnace of all wealth. Discipline is the currency of success. Not talent, not connections, not even education alone. Discipline, the ability to do what must be done long after the excitement fades, to show up when no one claps, to wake up when the body pleads for comfort, to build routines so unshakable that even chaos bows before your schedule. Every wealthy person you've ever admired has this one trait in common. Not flash, not fame, but forged discipline. And that discipline is born in silence, in the early hours, in the late nights, in the moments no one sees. When you choose to study instead of scroll, when you choose to invest instead of indulge, when you choose to grow instead of gossip. That is where empires are built. Brick by invisible brick. Mental wealth is not thinking happy thoughts. It is thinking strategic thoughts. It is visualizing outcomes so clearly that the world begins to shift around your vision. It is programming your subconscious like a machine, feeding it commands of victory, of abundance, of absolute certainty. Because the mind is always listening, always taking notes, always building your reality from the blueprint you whisper to it daily. And here is the hardest part. The mind believes what you tell it most consistently. Not what you say when you're inspired, but what you repeat when you're exhausted. So if your inner voice says, "I'm not good enough," your reality will bend to prove you right. But if your voice says, "I was built for this," the world begins to respond differently. People sense it. Doors open. Not by magic, but by magnetism. Understand this. Wealth is not money. Money is a result. Wealth is a state. A mental fortress built on clarity, conviction, and consistency. And without that fortress, money runs like water through open fingers. That's why so many lottery winners lose everything. They had funds, but no foundation. They had riches, but no richness of mind. Clarity is your compass. If you don't know exactly what you want, you're just drifting with the current of society. You chase what others have because you never stop to define what success looks like for you. Is it freedom? Is it impact? Is it peace? Until you define it, you cannot pursue it. Vague goals produce vague results. Specific goals unlock specific strategies. And purpose? Purpose is your fire. It's what keeps you going when the results are slow and the sacrifices feel heavy. It's what reminds you that wealth is not a number in a bank. It's the ability to live aligned, to contribute, to build something that outlives you. When you have a purpose bigger than your problems shrink. They don't disappear, but they no longer dominate you. But none of this matters if you don't act. Action is the bridge between vision and reality. You can meditate all day. You can write your affirmations 1,000 times. But if you do not move your feet, the mountain never gets climbed. Every great success story is a result of consistent, imperfect action, of doing it scared, of starting small, of building momentum until the results become inevitable. Let me be clear. You will fail. you will doubt, you will fall short. But those moments are not signs to stop. They're signals to grow. Every failure teaches you how not to build. Every doubt is a doorway to deeper belief. Every obstacle is an opportunity to prove you are more committed than comfortable. CTA mid-script insertion, subtle but direct. If these words are striking a chord in you, if something inside is waking, then do not let this be another video you forget. Subscribe now to Mastermind's Motivations. Hit the bell, because this channel is not just content, it's a training ground. New episodes drop every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to sharpen your mind, elevate your standards, and keep you on the path. And now that you're here, listening with your full attention, let's go even deeper. Gratitude is not just a feel-good emotion. It is a success principle, because you cannot receive more if you resent what you have. When you shift your focus from what's missing to what's present, your energy changes. Your perspective widens. You stop acting from desperation and start acting from confidence. And people feel that. Opportunities feel that. The universe itself seems to respond to a thankful mind. Adaptability is survival. The world is changing. Fast. Technology, markets, trends, they move like storms. And if you cling to what used to work, you drown. But if you stay flexible, if you learn quickly, adjust strategies, and reinvent yourself as needed, then nothing can stop you. The rigid break, the fluid rise. Resilience is wealth insurance. It is the armor you wear when life tries to bankrupt you, when the economy crashes, when betrayal hits, when plans fail. It's the voice that says, I still have breath. I still have vision. I still have fight. And that voice is louder than fear. It is forged by facing pain and choosing progress anyway. And learning? Learning is your lifelong leverage. The moment you think you know enough, you start declining. Stay a student. Read the books. Watch the masters. Study the patterns. The world belongs to the obsessed learner, the one who wakes up curious and goes to sleep wiser. Most people think wealth is about money, but wealth is never just financial. It's spiritual, mental, emotional. Because money without mindset is like a sword without a warrior, dangerous, clumsy, and self-destructive. True wealth is built from the inside out, from the clarity of your vision, the discipline in your habits, the resilience in your soul. Let's talk about belief, because you'll never outperform the beliefs you hold about yourself. If deep down you think you're unworthy, that success is for others, that life is meant to be a struggle, then no matter how many courses you take, how many hours you work, you will find a way to sabotage yourself. You can only rise to the level of your identity. And your identity is shaped by the story you tell yourself every single day. Is your inner voice a coach or a critic? Is it empowering? Or is it poisoning your potential? Napoleon Hill wrote, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." But most people skip the belief part. They try to achieve without believing, and that's why they fall. It's like planting seeds in frozen ground. Your mind has to be fertile before your life can flourish. So rewire your beliefs. Affirm your worth. Visualize your victory. See it before the world sees it. That's not fantasy. That's how every innovator, creator, billionaire, inventor started. Disney saw theme parks in empty land. Ford saw cars in an era of horses. Carnegie saw steel skyscrapers when people still lived in wooden houses. They saw it first in the mind, and then they built it with unbreakable will. You have that same power, but most people bury it under distractions, under opinions, under fear that you are not born to be average. You were born to remember who you are, to become the kind of person success is drawn to. Because here's a secret no one tells you. Success doesn't chase hustle. Success chases alignment. When your thoughts, your beliefs, your habits, and your actions all point in the same direction, the universe bends in your favor. But if your thoughts want wealth and your habits want comfort, if your words speak faith but your behavior lives in fear, then you are sending mixed signals, and life will return confusion. Align everything, and then watch the world respond. Mid-video CTA, natural flow into the narration. If this is igniting something in you, subscribe now to Mastermind's Motivations. We drop new content 3 times a week, crafted to awaken your mind, sharpen your focus, and fuel your greatness. Click the bell so you don't miss the next one, because your transformation is just getting started. Let's talk about discipline, because without it, nothing lasts. You can be the most gifted mind in the room, but if you can't wake up early, if you can't finish what you start, if you can't silence distractions when purpose is calling, then all you'll ever have is potential. Discipline is freedom. It's saying no to what doesn't serve your vision. It's choosing the pain of growth over the comfort of mediocrity. It's sacrificing momentary pleasure for lifelong power. You want to build wealth? Then stop waiting to feel like it. Motivation is a mood. Discipline is a decision. Train your mind to move without needing permission from your emotions. When your alarm goes off, get up. When the work gets boring, keep going. When the world doubts you, double down. This is the price of power. Because life doesn't hand success to the talented. It rewards the relentless. The ones who show up when no one's watching. The ones who plant seeds in silence. The ones who fail 10 times and rise 11. Look. Around, the world is full of people chasing shortcuts. But the ones who last, the ones who lead, the ones who build legacies that echo, are the ones who embrace the long path. Every day, ask yourself, is what I'm doing getting me closer to the man or woman I want to become? If the answer is no, change something. Change your inputs. Change your circle. Change your routine. Because time is not on your side. You don't get to waste it and expect greatness. Every minute you tolerate distraction, every hour you give to comfort, is an investment in your own destruction. Stop feeding your doubts. Stop babysitting your fears. You were not born to tiptoe through life. You were born to lead yourself through fire. And yes, it will burn. But what it burns away are the lies, the laziness, the limits. You build wealth by becoming someone too powerful to quit. And that begins by mastering your own mind. Let's go deeper. Because real wealth is not a number in your bank account. It's how you respond when everything goes wrong. It's the inner calm when the market crashes. It's the unshakable belief in yourself when your plans fall apart. It's knowing deep in your bones that no matter what happens outside, you are built for the storm. This level of mental strength is not optional. It's required. Especially today, when distractions are infinite, attention spans are shrinking, and everyone wants easy. But there's no shortcut to a strong mind. You build it like muscle, through repetition, through discomfort, through challenge. And the most powerful exercise? Solitude. Because when you're alone, truly alone, the truth comes out. No one to impress, no masks to wear, just you and the mirror of your thoughts. Can you sit with yourself without reaching for your phone? Can you go a day without validation? Can you work in silence while others scream for attention? This is where champions are forged. Edwin C. Barnes once said he would become a partner of Thomas Edison. Not an employee, not an assistant, a partner. People laughed. They called him crazy, but he held the vision. He worked without pay. He refused to settle. And one day, Edison called him exactly that, partner. Was it luck? No, it was mental persistence. He refused to tolerate anything less than his vision. And that's the key. What you tolerate becomes your standard. Tolerate lateness, you become unreliable. Tolerate excuses, you become average. Tolerate self-doubt, you become invisible. But if you raise your standard, if you raise your self-respect, if you demand more from yourself than the world ever will, then the world has to rise to meet you. Let's talk about clarity. Because the universe responds to specificity, it's not enough to say, I want to be rich. Rich in what? Money? Wisdom? Time? Freedom? Vague desires create vague results. Define what wealth looks like to you. Write it down. See it. Feel it. Obsess over it. Let it pull you out of bed. Let it guide your choices. Let it shape your future. Without clarity, you drift. And drifting is the death of destiny. You don't hit a target you can't see. So lock your vision in. Burn the ships behind you. And move like someone who has no plan B. Every great builder, from Carnegie to Jobs, had an obsession with clarity. They didn't guess, they decided. And then they moved mountains to make it real. So I ask you, what's the vision that keeps you up at night? What's the future you can see, even when no one else believes? Good. Now go build it. And protect it like your life depends on it. Because it does. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the architect of your life. But you must stop tolerating indecision. You must stop negotiating with laziness. You must stop explaining your dreams to people who never left the shallow end. This journey is not for the comfortable. It's for the committed. Because the road to wealth is not paved with luck. It's paved with relentless clarity, with unwavering self-leadership, with the courage to stand alone in pursuit of something no one else can see but you. You build wealth with your mind, first, with your standards, with your focus, with your non-negotiable S. This is the power that no one can take from you, not the economy, not your boss, not your past. Once you develop it, you are unstoppable. But the moment you tolerate average thinking, average habits, average friends, you've already surrendered your crown. Don't forget who you are. You were built for more. Act like it. There will be days when you don't feel like it, when nothing seems to move forward, when doubt whispers louder than faith, and that's when it counts the most, because anyone can move when it's easy. But wealth is built in the invisible hours, when no one is watching, when there's no applause, only you and the grind. This is where mental power becomes your secret weapon. The ability to push when your body says stop, to believe when evidence says quit, to stay focused when the world screams distraction. This is your edge. Most people wait for motivation. Champions build discipline. Discipline is not about punishment. It's about self-respect. It's about keeping the promises you make to yourself. It's about showing the universe that you're serious. You don't wait for the perfect time. You create the perfect time through consistent action. Ford didn't wait. He built. Oprah didn't wait. She built. Disney didn't wait. He dreamed so vividly that the world had no choice but to follow. And you are next. But only if you stop tolerating the lesser version of yourself. You can't talk like a winner and think like a coward. You can't want wealth and feed your mind with poverty. You can't claim success and keep clinging to comfort. You have to decide. Right now, who are you becoming? What will your legacy be? What will they say about you when you're gone? These are not soft questions. They are the foundation of power. And here's the truth. Mental wealth will always come before financial wealth. Because if you give a weak mind $1 million, it will disappear. But if you give a powerful mind one opportunity, it will build an empire. So stop chasing. Start becoming. Wake up with purpose. Move with intent. Think like a king, not a victim. Protect your focus like your future depends on it, because it does. Don't just read this and nod. Take action. Now is the time. If this message is lighting something inside you, subscribe to Mastermind's Motivations right now. We drop new content every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to sharpen your mind, fuel your spirit, and build the discipline that wealth demands. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's next. This is not just a channel. It's a movement, a place for people like you who are done tolerating small thinking, who are building legacies, not excuses, who are chasing purpose, not just profit. Your time is now. And one final truth, you don't need the world to believe in you. You need you to believe in you, unshakably, every day, no matter what. Because the world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you demand through action, belief, and relentless mindset. So raise your standard, elevate your circle, silence the noise, and build your wealth from the inside out. Mental power is the currency of the elite. And today, you're holding the blueprint. Use it.